So picture this, about 4 years ago, I'm in my minivan and the clock is off by an hour. You know, we just daylight changing time. And I don't know how it is in your car, but in my minivan, you need an engineering degree to change the clock. Right, you have to be able to press 3 buttons at the same time, turn the knobs, and it's a nightmare. So I'm frustrated, I get in the glove compartment, I read how to do it, and then I shoot a video, so next time I need to do it, I'll remember it. Does that make sense? Which is what you're seeing right here, 31 seconds of me changing the clock. Now, I don't know what to do with that video. I don't want to put it in my phone and my data, so I upload it to YouTube, and I come back 6 months later, and this is what I found. Over 38,000 people have viewed my video, and I'm like, no, you have to get the context. At the time, I had 4 or 5 videos. One of them, my biggest video, had 17 views, and I tell you, 15 of those views were my family members, right? So this was like complete, like I didn't understand, and there were like 24 comments, all kinds of nice things that they were saying about this, and I was like completely floored. So my quest went on to like, what triggers the algorithm? Like, what happened when I tried to do it on purpose, it didn't work? And what did I do with that video that actually worked? So this is what I'm going to explain to you today. This is what it is going to be about how to grow your YouTube channel organically. Now, since then, I've created over 250 videos for myself and others. I have 4.6 million viewed minutes on my channel, and I have, I'm growing right now about 1,200 new subscribers every month. So if my name, Antoine Dupont, is not a dead giveaway, I am originally from Paris, France. Ooh la la. Which is why once in a while I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, so if I do it, just please forgive me. And I work with Gordon Ramsey. Gordon Ramsey was my first boss. So if you don't like this presentation, you want to insult me at the end, just bring in your A game, because I've heard it all. So here are some common misconceptions about YouTube. And the first one, it is about the subscribers. Like it's the chase for he who has or who she has the most subscribers. And this could not be further from the truth. It's not about how many subscribers you have. I would have you consider that the numbers of subscribers is actually irrelevant in the context of growing your channel organically. And so let's start to understand the algorithm. What is the algorithm? What is it trying to do? What is the YouTube algorithm trying to do? Well, it's trying to do 2 things. The first is trying to predict what you will enjoy, right? And you probably have noticed that you go on YouTube and you start watching videos and all of a sudden they're in your feed. And it actually looks at your behavior between desktop and mobile phone, right? So it's looking at the behavior and it's trying to give you similar content. So it's really paying attention to what you enjoy. And the second thing is it wants to keep you on the platform a long time. It doesn't want you to go to Facebook and Twitter and those other things. The job of the algorithm is try to keep you there as long as possible, which turn on its head the concept and what you've heard, the lie that the videos have to be short and sweet. It's true on Facebook, it's true on Instagram, it's not true on YouTube. The longer your video is, the better. Actually, the sweet spot for YouTube is just above 10 minutes. All right, so let me give you the first hack or the first tip that you need to be thinking of if you want to grow your channel organically. And the first one is you need to identify your audience. You need to know who they are, why they are going to your channel. And I ask people when I work with them and trying to grow their channel organically, I'm like, so what's your target audience? And they're like, people? I'm like, people is not a target audience. Or guys, it's not. You have to be precise. You have to know who, what, why, how. Who are those people? If you don't identify your target market, the chances of you growing organically is slim to none. So this, for example, is a great target audience. That's female, 25 to 45, in sales and marketing in North America. And they're looking for inspiration and thought leadership for career growth. That's precise. Now, everything you're going to do to grow your channel organically is going to be based around that. The chances of you winning now is going to be significantly improved. Now, the second tip to grow your channel organically. This is just recently, I saw this, the Pew Research Center did a survey with YouTube users asking them what was the reason why they were going on YouTube. And 51%, which was the largest number of people, said that they were going to YouTube for how-to content. Now let me say that again. 51% of all YouTube users go there for how-to content. Raise your hand if you've gone in the last 30 days on YouTube for how-to content. Now look around the room. Who has done it in the last 7 days? Who's doing it right now? Stop it. Okay? So this is what? This is huge. Like 51% how-to. Like that's a huge number for you to think in terms, okay, I need to grow organically. Well, you might want to consider that some of your content may have to be how-to related. And there's ways to reverse engineer your content based on that. There are 3 tools that I use and that I love. The first one, which actually is a sponsor here in this conference, is SEMrush. And SEMrush has a specific tool that is in there, which is called the Keyword Magic Tool. Now, what the Keyword Magic Tool does is you put a keyword, for example, content marketing, and you say, give me all the questions that people are asking. And what SEMrush is going to do is it's going to aggregate all the content, it's going to give you the top questions. Now, your job is to create a video for each of the questions. Does that make sense? I mean, it's going to give you more how-to and whys and how and what that you can do in your lifetime. The second one is Answer the Public. Who hasn't heard of Answer the Public? Not heard of Answer the Public. Everybody knows about Answer the Public. No? Okay, a few people. Well, it's great because everywhere I go, I talk about Answer the Public, and I hear other speakers talk about Answer the Public, so it's clear that everybody knows. I don't believe that Answer the Public is going to remain free for a long time. It's a possibility, but I mean, you know, there's so much traffic there that I think at one point or another they'll charge premium. Same thing, you put your keyword, you get the questions, and your job is to actually answer the questions that people are asking, right? You get all that for you. The third tool is TubeBuddy. Now there are 2 big well, I'm going to say this one wrong. That's the French there. Analysis type of tool, vidIQ and TubeBuddy. I personally like TubeBuddy. I have nothing against vidIQ, and I'm not sponsored by either of them. But they're a great tool if you want to grow organically, because it's going to give you a lot of information about the types of questions that people want to hear. It's going to give you a competitive analysis, so it's going to avoid you trying to create content that is super competitive. So basically, like, you know, if there is a question you want to answer, there's already 1 million videos for that. You know, the chances of you growing and being able to win is slim to none. You might want to go and look at low-hanging fruits. So TubeBuddy is great. Now, the third hack or tip on how to grow organically. Your number one source for traffic should be suggested videos. That is really what it's about if you want to grow organically. Now let me show you how it looks like in the back end of YouTube, in the YouTube studio. There is a place where you can actually see where the source of the content is coming from. And in that particular case, 61.3% of all the traffic on that channel is coming from YouTube suggesting it for other people. Do you think that that's a good deal? Yeah, that's great. That's great news when YouTube is suggesting your content. Now, what you want to make sure, if you want to grow organically, is that number needs to be above 50%. It is going to be very difficult for you to win if your numbers are below 50%. Does that make sense? Everybody with me? All right. So to monitor and track your suggested videos, don't do it in the first 14 days. You need your video to actually have a chance to propagate out there and get some searches. So this is the type of data you want to look between the 14th and the 120th day. After 120th day, your video may get a little bit stale. So that's about the range where you want to look at the suggested videos. And if you're wondering, how do I get YouTube to suggest my video? What is the formula? What do I need to do? Well, 4 things. Number 1, a decent video with good content. I cannot tell you the number of people I talk to who says, I'm trying really hard to, I'm looking for tips and hacks, and I want my videos to rank, and they're like, what do I need to do? And I'm like, well, first one is create a decent video with good content. You gotta look at your content objectively. Sometimes it just sucks. I just created a crappy video last week, a complete doozy. It just flopped. Just, what do you do? Well, you create another one. But, how do I know it flopped? Well, because my suggested video was like really low, and all the metrics, which just didn't work out. It just happened. Don't be alarmed. Now, the second thing is you need to SEO the titles of your videos like a boss. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world after Google. YouTube is primarily a search engine. It's not a video library, but it's a search engine. So you need to make sure that you SEO your title. There's plenty of tools out there. One of the key mistakes that I see with people is that they create good videos with good content. They're decent, but the title is not optimized for SEO. So if you don't do that, there's no chance for you to grow. The third thing is a kick-ass thumbnail. And I'm going to show you in a few slides really the impact, but you absolutely unequivocally need to have a kick-ass thumbnail. Now, look at your own behavior. If you're looking for a video, what do you get in your feed? All you can see, if you're on your phone, all you can actually really see is the thumbnail. And you are making a decision to watch that video in huge part because of the thumbnail. So you cannot, under any circumstances, not pay attention to the thumbnail. And 5 minutes for most of us is just not gonna cut it. You need to spend at least half an hour to an hour really thinking through. Like how am I going to make my thumbnail amazing so people click on it? Look at those thumbnails. Those are great thumbnails. How many words do they have? 4 or 5. Can you connect with them? Can you actually get a sense of who they are? You can actually see their eyes. Whether you're gonna click on it, it's a different story, but that's a good thumbnail. It's got good colors. You can see the person. You can see it's mostly their head, and you can really connect with them. And people are going to be making a decision based on that. They're going to click, and they want to watch that video. Because if they search for something like, how do I improve my content marketing, you're not just going to get one video. You're going to get 10, 20, and your decision is going to be mainly based on the thumbnail. And the fourth one is description and the tags. Now, the description, obviously YouTube is giving you a space to add some description. Again, YouTube is a search engine, so for you not to take advantage of that, and I didn't say stuff keywords in there, but at least, help, YouTube index that content to help you serve that video to people who are looking for content like that. The tags, so I see that mistake all the time. People are putting like hashtag Gary V, hashtag Oprah, hashtag SEO. Like really? Like it makes no sense. The chances of, so you're trying to, follow the Gary V way, right? And says, well, I'm going to catch it. Well, it's like listen, for me, for example, if I put hashtag Gary V, I have nothing to do with Gary V. I'm bald, I'm French, I talk about other things. It's not like, you know what I mean? You're going to go to Gary V and then you're going to go, I didn't curse yet. So it makes no sense. It's not a good fit. It's the same thing with Oprah or SEO. You and a couple billion people are using that tag. That makes no sense. Use tags like this. How to grow my channel. How to make great videos. That's a good tag. Now you're helping YouTube serve your content to the right audience. Now the fourth one is audience retention. That is super important. And audience retention, this is the type of graph you're getting in YouTube. You want to make sure that your audience retention is at least above 50%. That's a huge signal for Google. So go and look at your videos. If they're below 50%, it's not a great video. If it's above, then this is a video that you can really spend some time and attention on. It has to be above 50%. Now, one thing that I just discovered, which is really awesome, you get that where it's actually showing you the retention of people as they're watching your video. And there's one other thing, I don't know, like the little mountain, the little pikes that in the content, and I couldn't understand that. I'm like, how do you have more people after than before? It didn't make sense. You know what that is? It's people rewinding your video to watch it again. Right? So you want to pay attention to those little mountains and what are you saying there? Because it could be a great content idea. Like people enjoy that. They want to see it again. Right? All right, so how do you improve your retention? Well, again, a decent video. There's no metrics or trick that is going to fix a shitty video. And we do sometimes have a shitty video. It happens. And the second thing is an energetic pace and be engaging. Right? That's how you keep people watching your video, a little bit longer. All right, the fifth and final one is impression versus CTR. So this is the absolute bomb in YouTube analytics. It tells you everything you want to know. The number of impressions, that's the number of impressions, that's the number of time that YouTube has served that video to your audience. And below that, it shows the percentage from YouTube recommending your content. You want that to be above 50%. Right there is 68.8%. Woohoo, we're doing great. Below that is the click-through rate. That's the number of people that actually clicked on it. That's 3.7%. That's actually too low. And I'm going to talk about that just in a few seconds. And below that is the number of impressions. Now, how do you fix that? How do you fix the impressions, the CTRs and whatnot? If you want more impressions, you have to have a better retention, above 50%. And if you want better CTRs, well, you need to have awesome thumbnails. It's just as simple as that. Now, the goal for CTR, 5 to 10% is good. Now, it's going to depend on your industry, obviously. Right? You may have an industry that might be a little bit more competitive or less competitive, and that number is going to be skewed, but I think that this is a little bit universal. 5 to 10% is good, 10 to 20% is awesome, and above 20% is, oh my God, right? Like your channel is on fire, or that particular video is on fire. So let me show you a couple of case studies here as I'm wrapping up. This was the thumbnail on the left before. I changed, that's the only thing I did to that video. That video was 18 months old. The only thing that I changed was the thumbnail. That's it. It actually resulted in a 157% increase in the impressions. That's it. That's all I did. And that was in 30 days, right? And in this one, that's how it was. That's how it was after. That's how it was after. That's 188% improvement in CTR. Now, there's no excuse for not having good thumbnails. Fiverr, for $5 to $25, you can get great thumbnails. And there is a great website, Amazing Custom Thumbnails. This is another website where you can get them. They sell a retainer, a monthly retainer for about $300, and they give you 10 to 20 thumbnails. So there's another great source. The time to get started with videos is right now. And if you don't, this is how it's going to look for you. Right? Don't wait until you see someone else do your video, the one that you thought you should have done. That's going to really piss you off. Get going and do it now. I believe that the road is wide open for YouTube. I don't believe that we are at the end of YouTube. I think we're in the beginning. Guys like me, we actually are starting to come on to YouTube. We're the fastest growing demographic, which is all white bald dudes, right? We're coming on. This is now. My kids, this is saturated, but guys like me, we're finally coming on to YouTube. And quite honestly, if a guy that looks like Uncle Fester can have a viral video, well, so can you. Thank you. All right.